To our scholars, parents, and our community partners, thank you for tuning in to the very first CrosbyCast, recorded at the Goodwill Center in Statesville, North Carolina. I'm your host, W.H. Hayes, and I'm joined today by Mona Lovett, the CEO and President of Crosby Scholars, and Jennifer Christian, the Executive Director of Crosby Scholars of Iredell County. How are you both today?
Excellent.
Doing great. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. Crosby Scholars has been around for a while, starting in Forysth County over 30 years ago and later expanding to Rowan County and Iredell County. What's your story with Crosby Scholars? What brought you there, and how did it get you to where you are now?
That's a great question. I am a part of Crosby Scholars for many reasons, but thinking of my background is one of the things that brought me there. I worked in college admissions for 3 different institutions before joining the Crosby Scholars program. I was made aware of the Crosby Scholars program and introduced to it actually through a Crosby Scholar who I recruited to High Point University at the time. And she said, well, I'm a Crosby Scholar. And I said, well, what is a Crosby Scholar? And she took that time to share with me information about the academy and being drug-free and doing community service. I said, well, that's pretty amazing. It wasn't about her grades. It really was about all the things that she was doing as a student in school. And so when I saw the opportunity to apply for the director's position, I decided to apply because as I looked at the job description, I said, Crosby Scholars, wow, that's my dream job. And at that time, I'd already been to one of the golf tournaments, not really making the connection to the program specifically, but understanding that Catherine Crosby and many, many celebrities are out at Bermuda Run, and we got tickets to go and see them play. But then once I put the job description with the actual golf tournament, then I said, okay, now I understand this. And so the Crosby Scholars program was brought to Bermuda Run in the mid-'80s by Catherine Crosby, and many people who knew about the old Crosby National Celebrity Golf Tournament that had been played for many, many years in Pebble Beach, California. She decided that she wanted to move the tournament, and she was shopping around, and depending upon whose story or whose version of the story you listen to, it landed in Bermuda Run. And after a year's run, Sarah Lee at the time became the general sponsor, and that golf tournament ran for 16 years, raising funds for organizations all over the world, not just the country, all over the world, with many, many celebrities. And when that tournament decided they wanted to do something specific to support the Forysth County, Winston-Salem community, we had someone by the name of B.J. McConnell, who worked with the Department of Ed, give a proposal of what she thought would be beneficial to the youth of the county to remain drug-free and to offer hope to go to college. And so this whole program really started from the funds of a golf tournament, and really wanted to support youth and encouraging them to pursue higher education and remain drug-free. And so that's kind of how we got our start. And the tournament continues as a one-day tournament in Forsyth County. The big tournament ended in 2001, but Mary Crosby, the daughter of Catherine Crosby, still comes back to that tournament each year.
And for both of you, kind of what is your why for Crosby Scholars? What kind of makes you wake up and say, I'm going to keep doing this. This gives you my passion?
Well, for me, I'm a first-generation college student, and I think thinking about college and all the opportunities that it's presented has been life-changing. And so not only do I experience that personally, but I experience that through all of our students. Just knowing that they have the opportunity to go to college, they have the know-how, the why. They understand that there's so many opportunities that having a college education or a 2-year degree opens that they may not have considered. So for me, it's just looking at and imagining the possibilities for every single student and helping them to understand that there's so many things. You meet different people, you meet people from different locations, you experience a life that's different from maybe what you grew up knowing, and it just opens up so many windows and opportunities.
Yeah, I would agree. It's exciting. On Christmas Day, getting a text from a senior in high school with a screenshot of his acceptance to North Carolina A&T Honors College was a nice gift. So it's exciting to share in the students' excitement when they explore what might be possible for their future. And it's exciting to help them kind of explore college, explore careers, and expose them to what's possible. It's really exciting.
Over the course of your time in Crosby Scholars, you've both probably interacted with hundreds, if not thousands, of scholars and families. What is a story from your time across all of those people that really like sticks out in your head as like, yeah, this is something I really look back on fondly?
Well, I have many. I've been with Crosby for 29 years, and so thousands of students. And daily, I would say I run into alums who will share how important and how impactful Crosby has been. So, for instance, the young lady who just spoke at our Birdies and Brunch, Hannah, had been in Crosby from grade 6 through 12, and she shared how the lessons of Crosby helped shape her journey, how she's now an entrepreneur, and she has backpacked through 10 different countries. And she just said, I don't think I would have imagined being able to do those things without the things I learned in Crosby, without the structure, the accountability, the exposure, the connection to other people, and just thinking about the possibilities that college would offer. So those stories are all over. I could tell 1,000 of them because it does make a difference. One of the other young men who came to our alumni event just came up and gave me a big hug and said, oh my gosh, do you remember me? I'm like, of course I remember you. I work with his big brother very closely with Crosby. And so after he saw the work we had done with his older brother, who's now an engineer out west, he said, I wanted to be a part of this program because I saw how much the Crosby team cared about us as students and how much it could help. And he's also a recent graduate from North Carolina A&T and just ready to kind of go out and take over the world. And so that inspires me, that gives me joy, that gives me hope, and that lets me know that what we are doing matters.
No, I think that's great, and I think I kind of alluded to that student at North Carolina A&T. There are stories like that every day, and students really, you are making a difference through the programming that we offer. I think even while they're still in middle school and high school, students feel a connection to the program. If I'm in one of our schools, they're, hi, how are you, Mrs. Christian? The students feel connected. Even while they're participating in the program, I think there are lots of benefits. There's a feeling of belonging and an opportunity to really explore what they want to do next. So, yeah.
And I think in addition to that, I know in Forysth County we have at least 10 alums who work with us at Crosby.
Yes.
So they kind of come back, and that's a way of helping to give back and supporting. But they're coming back because they believe in the work that we've done and how we've impacted and shaped their journeys.
Yeah, well, and WH, as the interviewer of this podcast, who also went through the program 6th grade through 12th grade, and your sister is currently a senior and is one of our Crosby Scholars student officers. So, yeah, success story.
I could definitely relate to that. And then my brother's also a Crosby Scholar. Like, my family is definitely a Crosby Scholar family, so to speak. It's something that we've always kind of seen in the community and in our schools. Speaking of community, I want to ask, what has it been like kind of being involved in the community and kind of growing alongside of it and becoming more integral in where you are?
I think that one of the things that's key to the name that we don't use a lot is Crosby Scholars Community Partnership. And community plays a pivotal role in the success of the program, embracing the program, understanding how the community is investing in the young people and the youth of the community. I think young people can see that through the investments of Crosby, and then they're giving back through their community service, and then coming back to that community to help it grow and thrive. So I think it's a full circle exposure. The community supports it, provides funding, provides opportunities for the students, whether it's doing community service or maybe an internship or investing in last dollar grants and scholarships, to the student feeling like, wow, my community is investing in this and they believe in me. I think that's important. To the student then giving back and learning about the many needs of the community and seeing how, I used to tell students, if you can read, you can give back to your community. We had a young lady many years ago, her community service was going to the various assisted living homes and doing nails for some of the older people. Well, she just wasn't doing their nails. She was having conversation and building community, and that seasoned citizen could share stories, and that young person could share stories. So yes, it says, oh, I did nails, but no, she built community and conversation. And I think as we look at Crosby, we're seeing that that's a critical part. It's connecting, it's collaborating, it's sharing, and seeing and building up the next generation. So that community piece is a big part of our name that sometimes we don't use a lot, but it's critical to the success of the program and the participants.
I think the community is really interwoven into the entire Crosby Scholars program. We have an entire career exploration series called Try It Tuesdays with a lot of business partners like Aloha Vet recently, where students could go in, learn about vet assisting, vet tech, veterinary medicine, owning a business, and what is it like to have a veterinary practice? What do you do at the front of the house, the back of the house? So all of those business partners that really help our students explore career pathways are very integral to the program. And certainly all of the nonprofit organizations where our students are volunteering, it's an opportunity for them to connect, to explore what they don't like, what they do like through a volunteer experience while giving back to the community. And there's even the opportunity, if they have some longevity at those organizations, that person might be a mentor, they're gaining leadership, they may serve as a letter of recommendation on a college application. So really all of the community organizations and businesses are a key component to kind of how Crosby Scholars extends beyond some of those kind of classroom type learnings and workshops.
As I got this job at Iredell County, I was made aware that Goodwill is actually very much involved with the Crosby Scholars actions and involvement in the community. Would you be able to explain more about how that kind of happened?
Goodwill of Northwest North Carolina is a tremendous and amazing organization. And from the old golf tournament, the former president and CEO was very aware of Crosby Scholars and what we did and how we supported students, and was just really excited about the work that Crosby was doing. And it aligned with the mission of Goodwill as well. And so as we looked at the missions of the two organizations, the decision was made, or the thought was that, wow, we really align. It may not naturally come to mind initially, but these two organizations align. And so what can we do to expand and support more youth in our community? And so Goodwill had provided space for Crosby and Forsyth, but we actually entered into a formal affiliation in 2012 with a full outline. I always tell people I have a nice thick booklet if you ever want to have some reading material to kind of see how it all came together. But the thought was, as we were growing and trying to reach 10,000 students, we could even have a greater impact if we were available in other counties. And so the first county that we expanded to was actually in Rowan County, and then the second county was Iredell County. So really pretty much the same principles and basic tenets of the program, but tweaking it to meet the needs of the individual counties was really important. And Goodwill has been a huge, huge supporter in allowing us to really grow the program, expand, and I don't think we could have done it without them.
And I know we've kind of talked about like the past and the present. What are you both looking forward to right now, both in terms of the work, the community, the scholars, that kind of thing?
I think it's an interesting moment in time as really opportunities with AI and all those things are really going to change some of the work in the sense that we don't know what jobs are going to be there for the future. And so I think a lot of the soft skills work that we do is really important so that students are adaptable and flexible. And so I'm looking forward to kind of what that's going to bring. I mean, careers we've never thought of, careers that don't currently exist. So I think that's going to be huge. I think this bringing in the next generation. I mean, we have multiple generations in the workforce right now. And so helping each generation understand how they can learn from each other and benefit and grow based on historical knowledge and the new technologies, and combining all those things together. I think some of the big announcements we've heard from colleges with free tuition and free tuition, room and board, and all those kinds of things may change maybe the way some of the colleges look in regards to who's attending or who's considering those schools. So I think we've just had a lot of big announcements that I think will kind of maybe make people rethink or maybe cast a broader net in their opportunities and choices. But I think AI really has to be the thing that we have to keep an eye on, because it is going to impact our work. We don't know every way it's going to impact it at this point, but we know that it will, and it will impact some of the trajectories of our students.
Yeah. Well, Crosby Scholars is so excited to celebrate 10 years here in Iredell County. We started in 2015 and really have become an integral part kind of your middle school and high school experience to explore what's next after you graduate. Hundreds of scholars have graduated and been a recipient not only of the programming, but scholarship dollars and last dollar grants when they graduate. And that can continue beyond their time in Crosby Scholars when they're attending a 2-year or 4-year school. And we just want to continue that momentum, make sure that students are aware and their families that we are here and that we're a resource for students to help prepare for college or for life, as our tagline says. So to continue that positive momentum of our first 10 years here in Iredell County and beyond.
Mona Lovett and Jennifer Christian, thank you so much.
Thank you, WH.